This is The Gist, the essential podcast for the discerning listener.
Welcome to The Gist. Today is Monday, the 13th of July, 2026. I am John.
And I am Mary. We are your smart friends on the go. Let's dive right in.
Today, for The Gist View, we are looking at a quiet crisis. It is happening in offices and labs everywhere. We are talking about the end of The Apprentice.
Exactly. Artificial intelligence is rapidly taking over entry-level cognitive tasks. We're talking about the basic, repetitive grunt work.
Companies love this. They replace junior staff with an artificial intelligence to do the routine analysis. The incentive is obvious. It expands their profit margins instantly.
But here is the catch. Grunt work is exactly how professionals learn. You build your skills through repetition. It is how you develop deep, intuitive knowledge.
Think of a young chef. If a machine chops all the onions and preps all the sauces, the chef never learns basic knife skills. In high-stakes fields like medicine and research, outsourcing that early work removes critical training.
It creates a missing generation of experts. The true cost is not just immediate mass unemployment. It is the long-term disruption of the apprenticeship model.
We are seeing this talent pipeline break down in academia too. The AAU is the Association of American Universities. It is an exclusive group of top United States research schools. They just cut Ph.D. admissions for this fall by 15%.
Why such a drastic cut? The universities point to unpredictable federal funding under the Trump administration as the primary driver. Follow the money. When you swap stable, peer-reviewed science funding for centralized political control, you choke off innovation. The political center gains leverage over institutions, but the global knowledge economy loses its next wave of thinkers. Let's pivot to the global overview. In the United States, the way the government measures poverty is fundamentally broken.
Very broken. The official United States poverty metric remains mathematically unchanged, regardless of direct government cash assistance given to poor families. It literally does not count the help.
So why keep a rigid, broken metric? Look at who benefits. It obscures the real flow of capital.
Exactly. It hides the actual material impact of federal wealth transfers. If you do not measure the success of an aid program, you can easily justify defunding it. It distorts the demographic data entirely.
Meanwhile, across the globe, China is sticking to rigid traditions. Their school system still heavily pushes the rote memorization of ancient texts.
This feels out of step for a modern, tech-driven economy, but it makes perfect sense when you look at the incentives of the state.
Right. Decades of economic transition have not changed this. Rote memorization ensures institutional compliance. The system gets obedience and control.
But the trade-off is massive. They lose the localized, creative problem-solving you absolutely need to run an advanced knowledge economy.
Over in the Middle East, the Strait of Hormuz remains a major hotspot. Market analysts are flagging ongoing supply risks.
We have said this before. The tension between the United States and Iran is not just a temporary geopolitical spike. It is a structural tax on global energy transit. Every barrel of oil passing through pays that invisible friction tax, and energy companies pass that cost right down to you.
Moving on to the European perspective, the big news today is a massive shift in European defence.
A 10-nation missile defence coalition just formed. It includes Germany, France, the United Kingdom and, crucially, Ukraine.
At the same time, British firms just won the right to bid on a €60 billion European Union defence loan to Ukraine. This is huge.
It signals a structural decoupling from the United States. Europe is pooling its industrial power to build its own strategic autonomy.
And notice how pragmatism wins. Even with post-Brexit trade barriers, the United Kingdom and the European Union are finding ways to integrate their defence industries.
Look at Ukraine's role here too. They are shifting from being a wartime recipient of aid to becoming a structural anchor of post-war European defence.
But this shift has friction. It risks duplicating efforts by NATO. NATO, of course, is the North Atlantic Treaty Organisation, the primary Western military alliance. And Europe still relies heavily on American early warning satellites.
French President Emmanuel Macron is pushing hard to unify these efforts. In his final address to the troops before leaving office next year, he warned that building separate, fragmented European capabilities is absurd.
He is directly targeting politicians like Marine Le Pen. Her party wants to reduce France's role in NATO. It is a high-stakes battle over who controls Europe's security architecture.
In other European news, watch your wallet if you rely on prescription medicine in the United Kingdom. A new trade pact between the United Kingdom and Switzerland just froze drug patent rules.
This blocks both countries from shortening the exclusivity periods for big pharmaceutical companies. Who benefits? The drug makers. They get to lock in their monopolies much longer.
And who pays? The state. Officials warn this will delay cheaper generic drugs from hitting the market. That raises expenses massively for the NHS, the United Kingdom's National Health Service. It is a direct transfer of wealth from the public taxpayer to private pharma companies.
Before we wrap up, a sobering reality check on public health and safety. New data shows Europe recorded 10,000 excess deaths during the extreme June heatwaves.
And Doctors Without Borders is fiercely condemning the deliberate Russian destruction of Ukrainian hospitals. The human cost of these systemic global failures remains devastatingly real.
Time for the sign-off. Today's temperature reading shows a world aggressively fighting to protect its resources, from drug makers guarding monopolies in Europe to politicians choking off research funding in the United States.
Meanwhile, the short-term corporate rush for artificial intelligence profits risks hollowing out the next generation of human expertise. Power continues to flow to those who control the tools and the funding, but long-term resilience will belong to those who preserve human skill and adapt.
That is the show for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you found today's breakdown useful and want to stay ahead of the curve, we would love to have you with us every morning.
Absolutely. You can get The Gist delivered free to your inbox every single day. Just tap the subscribe link in our show notes. It is a quick read, it's totally free, and it is the easiest way to stay sharp. We will catch you tomorrow.
The Gist, News Digest, and podcast are entirely written and produced by artificial intelligence. The Gist is out 3 times a day, every day, providing you with a liberal perspective on what to expect next. For more information and donations, visit thegist.online. Thank you for listening.